Hi, Lauren. This is Ivana here. I just got home and I wanted to give you some input on the things that Amberly and I talked about last night on our Zoom call since you weren't able to join us. And so first let me see, I don't think there's a way that I can flip this around. Is there? Nope. Okay, so first what we did was we had talked about on the in Moodle how there is in one of the questions and answers forums in the course that there was a question asked to Professor Park on some clarification on this part of the project. So I'm going to go there real quick and kind of show you what we discovered. So if you go to the questions and answers, this is probably backwards, but I just wanted to show you where we're getting this from. Final project clarification. Okay, and you scroll all the way down. So the third assignment, this assignment here that we're working on, the task list and work plan, Dr. Park said that it should demonstrate what our group will do to solve the issue based on the results from the first and the second assignments. And so when Amberly and I looked at the example task list that's also included in Moodle, we kind of went through the spreadsheet here and tried to make ours look somewhat similar with the data that we have, that's tailored to our organization, United Airlines. So when you go into the Google Drive, you'll look and see our task list that we're working out of under the task list work plan template. We started on the first several tasks. The first 1 and 2 are going to look pretty similar to the ones that are in the example because, well, as you read, you'll kind of, it should be pretty clear whenever you go to the task list and you read through what we're doing. So we were a little confused. We were very tired and very hungry, and our brains were not working with us. So we did the best that we could with kind of developing some steps on how we're going to complete it. If you scroll to, if this is our task list here, if you scroll down to the bottom, we decided, because we're going to reformat it in an actual Excel spreadsheet, once we're ready to turn it in, we decided to, down here, include the next few tasks that we want to include in the spreadsheet. So we've got 6 tasks total. Amberly and I worked through the first 2 together. And so you'll read it, and it's define needs, assessment, purpose, and goals. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to list out, if we had really actually done this performance diagnosis, right? If we were really doing this with United Airlines, we've already, collected the data and all that. But what this list is doing is it's putting into words a visualization of the steps that we have taken and are going to continue to take to eventually make the proposal on how to address the customer service issues for United. So when you read through, still getting emails, when you read through the first 2 and task number 6, those 3 tasks are for anybody. It's just for, you can go in there and kind of make some modifications. I'm going to go in there. Those 3 tasks, we decided that we'll just, because they're pretty easy, it's just a matter of inputting the information into the spreadsheet. So we're going to leave those up to, the group. Everybody can contribute to those. And then when you look towards the bottom, we've got task 3, 4, and 5. So Amberly signed up to take task 3. I signed up to do task 4, and we left task 5 up for you. When you look at the spreadsheet, you'll notice that each task has little subtasks, right? So for instance, on our list, task number 2 is to develop planning documents. If you go back to the example, you'll see that that's one of their tasks as well. And so that's the big task. And then these little subtasks are just different items that we do as part of that initial task. So for example, in the developing planning documents section, this example says that they're going to meet with the needs assessment team. They're going to complete the project timeline, prepare the budget, approve the data collection plan, timeline, and budget. So when we go into ours, our task list, we'll pretty much do something very similar. We don't want to copy word for word, obviously, but a lot of the wording and concepts that are in the example, we can translate into our project. So for example, since I'm taking task 4 last night, I went ahead and kind of just put my little subtopics there. The main task for me is going to be to gather customer perceptions through surveys and focus groups. And so one of those subtasks under my section is going to be to go ahead and conduct the customer survey. Another one would be conduct the focus group. Another would be to gather current research and literature on United Airlines customer service rating. And then another one would be to complete and analyze the task inventory. Some things that were kind of confusing that we spent some time talking about was the chapter, obviously, because the chapters 14 and 15, I think that we're doing this week it's just a lot of information. And so sometimes it can be confusing, but we're going to try to stick as close to the example as we possibly can. So an input would be, if you look on the graph here, you've got your topics and your subtopics, or your task and your subtasks, and then an input would be what you're doing, right? What it's the task, and then what that task entails. So and then the output would be what has occurred since the input, if that makes any sense. I know it's like, but for instance, when we meet with the needs assessment team, our input is that we need an analysis of the need to know questions. We use the need to know questions that we had listed out in our project background. So we want to stick to obviously the same theme and kind of connect all these different pieces together. So for me, when I go through and fill out my sections, I'm using the assignments we've already completed as reference. To make sure that I'm staying in line. So for this one, meet with needs assessment team, the input would be the analysis of need to know questions. The output would be, as a result of meeting with the needs assessment team, we have a completed needs assessment planning matrix. So, do the best that you can with your section, and obviously tasks 1, 2, and 6 are up for grabs. Anybody can, put that information in. We discussed using the rest of this week to get this completed, and then maybe scheduling a Zoom or a call tentatively on Saturday, to kind of just confirm that we've got everything that we need in there before we submit. So I know that this is kind of very vague. If you need any help, feel free to call either one of us or, hit us up on GroupMe. But it's pretty simple. It's just having to think about where certain steps go. And yeah, so one thing also that I wanted to clarify too, we are not completing all the tasks required to solve the customer service issue. This is merely just a list of tasks that we're doing that talks about the data that we've collected. And our next week's project is the justification, right? So this assignment is going to lead us there. So for next week, we're going to talk about, okay, because we've, did the project background, because we did the task analysis, because we did, this step-by-step list and work plan, now what do we want to do, right? So we don't want to do the full project on this. You're not going to list out every single step. You're going to list out steps that we have taken before we get to a decision that we're going to make, hypothetically, to fix the customer service issue. I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, let us know. The document is live on Google Drive, so just feel free to do your best. I do think that just kind of prepare for maybe a Saturday morning or afternoon call, just so that we all are on the same page. So hope this helps.